Right now, while millions spend $1,000 a month on Ozempic shots, some of the most powerful GLP-1 boosting compounds on the planet are sitting right in your grocery store for under $10. And GLP-1 is the single biggest health story of 2026, expanding past weight loss into heart disease, kidney failure, and addiction. And Stanford just found a molecule that mimics semaglutide's fat loss effects without the nausea and muscle loss, but it occurs naturally in food. And today I'm going to walk you through how to make your own fat loss hormone for free. And I'll teach you the exact foods, supplements, and even probiotics that can turn on your GLP-1 receptors, support your body, boosting your own GLP-1 creation and absorption to support weight loss, to reduce cravings, and to stoke your metabolism. So, hey, what if the weight you can't lose and the cravings you can't control and the blood sugar you've learned to live with aren't a willpower problem at all? What if they're a hormone problem and you're one meal away from fixing it? Now, today I'm going to walk you through the science of GLP-1, the fat loss hormone your body already makes. So you don't need a pill, you don't need a shot. Your body can make it on its own. And I'm going to teach you the exact foods that trigger more of it, plus a brand new Stanford discovery that changes everything when it comes to supporting your body's own GLP-1 production. All right, so here's the truth. Right now, inside your body, you have a fat loss hormone in GLP-1 that your own body can create. Now, the pharmaceutical industry built a $50 billion empire selling a synthetic version. But your gut makes it every time you eat the right food. So here's the key. If you learn how to eat very specific foods, your body can ignite more GLP-1. So here's what I'm going to go through today. What GLP-1 actually is, and this is your body's built-in fat loss and appetite hormone. I'm going to go through how it works at the cellular and organ level. I'm going to go through an amazing Stanford discovery on a natural molecule that actually isn't GLP-1, but it mimics semaglutide and can help you get the same results in your body. I'm going to go really beyond weight loss, how supporting your body's own GLP-1 production can help you overcome addiction, support heart health, and multiple other organs. I'll be walking you through the GLP-1 foods, and many of them are going to surprise you, and also walk you through the protocol that helps you activate GLP-1s by tenfold. Now, before I dive into the exact foods and supplements that are going to support your body with GLP-1, you need to understand exactly how this works in your body, because once you see how this hormone actually works, your whole strategy becomes obvious. You're going to know, oh, here's exactly what I should do to support my body in this way. And let's start with the foundation. What GLP-1 is, what it does inside your body, and why your gut, not a pharmacy, is where the real action happens. And I'm going to walk you through this. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right? Eating clean, working out, taking all the right supplements, but your body just won't cooperate. Maybe you're tired, you're foggy, you're gaining weight, you can't sleep, and your doctor says your labs are normal. Here's the truth. Normal blood work does not mean your body is operating normally. It just means the levels in your blood work look okay, not that your cells are actually using them the way they should. It's like using the wrong map and wondering why you're lost, or putting gas in the tank, but the engine still won't turn over. Because if your cells are inflamed, stressed, or in survival mode, nothing you do will work the way it should. Your body's been whispering for years. Now maybe it's screaming, and you deserve someone who's actually listening. Go to mybloodwork.com and see what your blood work missed. What's really going on beneath the surface. Because you're not crazy, you're not lazy, you're just stuck in a system that was never built to find the problem. It was built to diagnose disease, not restore your health. At mybloodwork.com, we'll show you how to finally get your body and your life back. Okay, so number one, the science. So GLP-1 stands for glucagon-like peptide, okay? Now, don't worry about the name, but here's what matters. It's a hormone that your gut releases when you eat. and it acts like a master switch for your metabolism. It does 4 things, okay? It tells your brain you're full. It helps your body handle blood sugar. It calms inflammation, and it quiets your food cravings, okay? Now, it really does quiets the food cravings because it tells your body you're full, okay? And it's one hormone, it's 4 jobs, and every one of them points towards leaner, healthier, calmer body when this happens naturally. So number 1, here's what GLP-1 does. It suppresses the signals that your brain sends saying you're hungry, right? So basically it tells your body, hey, you're full. Number 2, it regulates, it triggers insulin when blood sugar rises, and it blocks glucagon. And here's the third thing it does. It protects. It lowers inflammation in your blood vessels, your kidneys, and your brain. And the other thing it does is it rewires your hormonal system in your brain. It dampens cravings for addictive food. Okay. So, you might be craving that bag of chips or bread or more cake, right? It quiets that down. All right, so let me put some numbers on GLP-1 and how it works, okay? When it's working on your body, okay, people eat about 40% less without forcing it. And the drug versions have driven roughly 15% body weight loss over 68 weeks. So that's about 1.25 years. People can lose about 15% of their body weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you could lose roughly 20 pounds by taking a GLP-1 drug. And that's why experts name GLP-1 the #1 health trend of 2026, okay? The drugs are just copying what your body already knows how to do. Here's a part that most people never learn when it comes to GLP-1, exactly how food becomes a fat loss hormone, okay? It's a 4-step chain, and it can happen really fast in the body. So here's what happens. You eat, and by the way, this is the natural way. This isn't the drug way. This is the natural way here. You eat fiber, you eat polyphenols, maybe get some healthy fatty acids, and special cells in your gut wall called L cells detect those nutrients. Then what they do is they release GLP-1 into your bloodstream within minutes. And it tells your brain and your pancreas to respond. So what happens is your appetite drops, your insulin rises, and your blood sugar becomes steady now. Okay. So your body's really smart and it's saying, okay, wow, we've got some polyphenols from blueberries, right? We've got some fiber from flax seeds. We got some healthy fats here from this piece of salmon I just ate. And your body is saying in your gut is saying, your second brain, wow, okay, we've just got what we've been looking for. This is exactly what we needed. Now we can tell the brain, now we can tell the metabolism, hey, we're good now. So your appetite drops, your insulin goes to where it should be, your blood sugar becomes steady. By the way, this is also why what you eat at breakfast still shapes your hunger at lunch and dinner. I mean, this is one thing I've told my patients for years. If you're going to change one meal, change breakfast. Okay, if you eat a good breakfast, you go high protein, you go high fiber, you go high nutrients, like in polyphenols and vitamins and minerals, your body, it sets the stage to where now you have less cravings for lunch and for dinner. Your blood sugar is more steady, your insulin's more balanced if you eat a good breakfast. So that old adage, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, is absolutely true. Now, there's a medical study published in the medical journal Diabetology, okay, this is in 2019, and here's what they found. 70% of overweight adults have a blunted, diminished GLP-1 response, okay? So after meals, their body underproduces it, and so it's a primary driver of overeating. So what happens is a lot of people, especially those people that are overweight, what they found in the study is they were eating, and they were eating, and they were eating, and their body didn't produce GLP-1 or very low doses. So it never told the brain, hey, we're full, or let's keep blood sugar steady. So we're going to release, again, GLP-1. So what's happening is the body, and so this is simply because if you are not eating the right type of essential fatty acids and healthy fats, you're not getting the right, nutrient-dense foods, high in polyphenols, typically very rich in color. And if you're not getting fiber, your body is not going to produce enough GLP-1. So here's why GLP-1 matters again, okay? It has to do with, one, it affects your metabolic health, right? It cuts your appetite and how much you eat. It triggers insulin. It blocks glucagon so fat stays stored. And GLP-1 slows digestion so you stay full. And it impacts the entire body. It also reduces cardiovascular inflammation, protects your kidneys, and dampens addictive cravings for alcohol, even drugs, and even sugar. Now, I want to show you the discovery that pulls all of this together, okay? And honestly, it's the reason why I wanted to make this episode. For years, the story was simple. If you want these benefits, you take this drug, this GLP-1 drug. Now, that story is officially outdated, okay? Researchers have found a natural pathway to the same result, one that sidesteps the very side effects that make people quit GLP-1s. And I want to show you exactly what they found. Stanford researchers identified a molecule your own body makes, secreted when you eat specific plant fibers, that activates the exact same GLP-1 receptors as semaglutide, okay? Same target, same effect on appetite and fat, but here's the difference that matters. No nausea, no constipation, and no muscle loss. You already know this if you've watched me talk about this before. GLP-1 drugs, you lose more muscle mass, okay? So when you're losing that body fat we talked about, you're losing 20 pounds, half of that might be muscle loss, which if you lose 10 pounds of muscle, that's aging your body 10 to 20 years. I mean, you are really aggressively aging your body, slowing your metabolism, harming your health when you take these GLP-1 drugs, especially at the higher doses, especially if you're not offsetting them with weight training and high protein. Now, those effects that we talked about drive 1 in 5 people off of Ozempic within 3 months, okay? The food-based pathway, here's the thing, doesn't carry those same side effects because your gut was built for this. And so Stanford researchers identified a molecule your own body makes that is secreted when you eat specific plant fibers. Hear that word again, fiber, okay? Same target, same effect on appetite and fat, but here's the difference that matters. No nausea, no constipation, and no muscle loss. If you've heard me speak on this before, Ozempic, Wegovy, GLP-1 drugs have those side effects. Constipation, it slows down your detoxification system. Muscle loss, think about this. If you lose 20 pounds, and let's say 8 to 10 pounds of that is muscle, you are damaging your metabolism. You're aging your body 10 to 15 years. Think about that. Did you know that's essentially what's happening when you lose that much muscle? And your muscle also keeps your blood sugar balanced. It affects insulin. It reduces inflammation. If you lose muscle, you're losing one of your body's most valuable organs. Those side effects cause 20% to 25% of people on Ozempic to get off within 3 months. Here's the great news. The food-based pathway that starts with fiber in your gut has 0 side effects. No constipation, no slow detoxification, no damaging and ruining your metabolism. And this is important because 95% of GLP-1 is made in your gut when you eat, as we talked about, number one, fiber, and in addition to fiber, polyphenols in certain types of essential fatty acids. And what I want to do now is share with you some of the specific foods that most impact and support GLP-1 production in your body. So this is going to be diving into food as medicine for GLP-1 production. Hey guys, I'm here with my good friend, Dr. Dave Jockers. In fact, we've been friends for more than 20 years. He runs the podcast, the Dr. Dave Jockers Functional Nutrition Podcast. Dr. Dave, tell us a little bit about what your podcast is about.
Yeah, absolutely. We dive deep on functional nutrition, really how to personalize your nutrition plan for better energy, mental clarity, better hormone balance. And we talk a lot about cellular health, mitochondrial function, cell membrane. We do a deep dive on every major nutrition topic and natural health topic. So everything you need right there at your fingertips. Dr. Jockers Functional Nutrition Podcast.
I want to encourage you, run out and listen to the Dr. Jockers show. Again, I'm a big fan of it. I think you will be as well. So here are the top 10 GLP-1 activating foods in ranking order. Number 1 is going to be protein and protein powders, especially whey protein isolate. Okay, now whey protein acts very quickly on your muscles. And by the way, this is the ideal protein to take during your workouts. Now, if you are sensitive to dairy, you're better off doing something like pea or rice protein, okay? So if you want to do vegan, that's a better option there. But whey protein, the best while you're working out for supporting GLP-1 over the long over the long game. Let's say, for instance, before you go to bed in the evening, if you want to keep your metabolism going and GLP-1 up longer, doing caseins from something like cottage cheese is probably the best option. Number 2 are eggs, especially the egg whites, high in albumin, high in protein. These are great. They also are a great source of choline and essential fats that are great for supporting GLP-1 production. Number 3 are fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel. You're getting protein plus omega-3 fatty acids. Remember, those healthy fatty acids are one of the best things that you can consume to support GLP-1 production. Then you've got lean poultry and meat, right? Grass-fed beef, you've got chicken and turkey. These are great options as well. Number 5 is legumes, especially lentils, chickpeas, and beans. Again, these are high in fiber and protein together. Remember, protein and fiber both activate GLP-1. And then you have oats and barley. Oats contain beta-glucan. This is a type of fiber that ferments, that supports GLP-1 production and short-chain fatty acid creation in your gut. Short-chain fatty acids like butyrate or butyric acid are also great for not only GLP-1, but also for immune health and hormonal health. Okay, number 7 is avocados. Avocados are high in magnesium. They're high in potassium. They're also really high in fiber and healthy fats that are going to be great for supporting GLP-1s. Number 8 are extra virgin olive oil. It's a combination there as well of healthy fatty acids, monounsaturated fats, along with polyphenols. These polyphenols are great for supporting the gut in creating more good bacteria, as well as supporting GLP-1 production. Number 9, cruciferous vegetables and bitter vegetables. Now, the great thing about cruciferous and bitter vegetables are they are high in fiber. You know what else they're great for, though? Getting rid of excess estrogen, detoxifying your body and your cells, but also good for GLP-1s. And then nuts. The top 3 nuts for supporting GLP-1 production were almonds, walnuts, and pistachios are all great there. So here's the reality. If you want to burn fat, lose weight, support your metabolism, get rid of the cravings, create a meal plan with all of these foods. For instance, for breakfast, do some protein powder, okay? We don't have this on the list, but apples and berries and pomegranates are going to be the best on the list for supporting GLP-1 production. And then maybe a little bit of healthy fat from something like coconut milk, or do protein powder and an avocado for breakfast, or protein powder and oatmeal. Those are good options. For lunch, you could do a big salad or soup, but it's meat and vegetables, right? If you want to have a snack, do some walnuts or pistachios. And then for dinner, do meat and vegetables, right? Meat and vegetables. Beans can be great as well. So create a meal plan that supports your body producing more GLP-1. And by the way, the reason why protein powder was ranked is the gold standard there, whey protein, supports GLP-1 production 141% more than chicken or rice. And it also resists something called DPP-4. So it actually lasts longer in the body. There's an enzyme that starts to break down this GLP-1 creation in the body. And so whey protein is able to withstand that. But it's best taken, especially if you're going to do some type of workout and movement, is the best time to take it. As I mentioned, if you're going to do casein, that's going to be found in greater amounts in something like cottage cheese. That's great to do for kind of slow, sustained drip in the evening or night is probably the best time to take that as well. All right, here are the top 10 supplements in ranking order when it comes to supporting GLP-1. Number 1 is berberine. Now, berberine is commonly found in bayberry leaf. It's found in golden seal, but berberine is the number 1 herbal compound for balancing out insulin and blood sugar. And so if you're going to pick one supplement, that should be number 1, and number 2 should be soluble fiber. Now, you can get lots of soluble fiber from things like oatmeal and a lot of the foods we just talked about, but you can also add it in as psyllium husk, or if you've got a sensitive digestive tract, PHGG is your best option as a fiber source. It is less fermentable. It is typically more friendly for people that have histamine-like reactions or sensitive digestive systems. So PHGG, sometimes it's under a brand name called Sunfiber. That is a great option for fiber. And then inulin, this is this feeds bacteria, right? This type of fiber here also supports those short chain fatty acids being created like butyrate. Probiotics, specifically Akkermansia, these support the gut microbiome. Remember, now here's another thing. If your microbes are off in your gut microbiome, right? You have too much candida and too much E. coli and SIBO and some of these other problems, it's going to throw off your GLP-1 production. So you want to take probiotics that are going to most benefit from and feed off of soluble fiber and inulin. So transforming your gut microbiome by taking probiotics, I would take a multi-strain that has bifidobacterium and lactobacillus, like Lactobacillus plantarum and Akkermansia and soil-based organisms. You kind of want to get all of those probiotics together because they all have different benefits. Number 5 supplement for supporting GLP-1 is curcumin. Just like berberine is this sort of compound from bayberry, curcumin comes from turmeric. And curcumin lowers inflammation, but independently also supports and boosts GLP-1. Number 6 is cinnamon, very similar to berberine in terms of it being able to balance out blood sugar and insulin, but also slows gastric emptying, which supports insulin sensitivities. It keeps that blood sugar from spiking. It's also good for supporting your blood. So cinnamon is great there. Number 7, N-acetylcysteine. This is the precursor to glutathione. It lowers oxidative stress in your gut. Oxidative stress lowers GLP-1 production. So not only does N-acetylcysteine support liver detoxification, not only does it help you age more slowly, not only is it your number 1 protector once it turns into glutathione, it also supports GLP-1 because of its protective mechanism. Number 8, adaptogenic herbs that support blood sugar like ginseng. Now, ashwagandha and rhodiola and holy basil are also going to have some of these similar benefits, but ginseng in particular has compounds called ginsenosides, and these aid your insulin and GLP-1 levels. Number 9 is an omega-3 supplement with EPA and DHA. So taking fish oil or cod liver oil or a DHA algae oil, all fantastic, because remember, in order to support GLP-1, what do you need? You need fiber, you need protein, you need polyphenols, and you need healthy essential fatty acids like omega-3s, okay? And then number 10 is an amino acid called L-glutamine. Now, I've typically prescribed this to patients with IBS, IBD, people that want to hold on to more of their lean muscle mass as well with L-glutamine. But L-glutamine fuels the gut lining and was one of the most effective GLP-1 supporters of all supplements in clinical studies. So if you have GI issues, any sort of gut issue at all, it could be leaky gut, it could be food sensitivities, L-glutamine is an amazing amino acid to take, typically 5 grams twice daily. And so again, what I would encourage you to do is put together your plan. So I would spend time, write down what you're going to eat for foods and what you're going to take for supplements. Now, here's another thing I do want to mention. I created a guide that goes through these top supplements, these top foods, and a whole lot more information, including a 7-day eating plan of exactly what you need to eat. And you can go and download it in the show notes. So it's a free PDF. You can click on it in the show notes and download it there. So if you don't want all the work on doing this yourself, but you do want the exact 7-day eating plan and everything else in detail, go to the show notes and download it right now. Now, there are 2 things I left out of the food portion that I do want to mention that you should also include, okay? And these are going to be included in that PDF that I put together, but you want to make every meal work synergistically, okay? And so when you're putting together a meal, you're not just asking, what can I get away with? You should be thinking about, what is the ideal meal to help me reach my goals, okay? And what we found according to studies is, if you eat the foods I talked about, that's great. But if you combine them with once a day, adding in probiotic-rich foods or fermented foods, it's going to make an even bigger difference. So adding in some coconut yogurt, or some goat's milk kefir or sheep's milk yogurt, or some type of fermented food. This is going to help support and shift your gut microbiome. In fact, there was a study done on adults who were dealing with obesity. And those who ate probiotic yogurt for 10 weeks had much higher levels of GLP-1 in lower fasting blood sugar and saw better results. Okay, so 1 serving a day of sauerkraut or coconut yogurt or kefir something, and sometimes it's just a couple tablespoons of coconut yogurt in a morning superfood smoothie with protein and fiber that can make all the difference. And then here's another big one, meal sequencing. They found in studies, if you started your meal by eating more of the protein first and fiber first, okay? So you had the meat, you had the vegetables, you started with that. It led to people producing more GLP-1 and losing more weight and having less carb cravings. So when you start off your meals, protein, fiber, protein, fiber, protein, fiber, that is the key. So as you know, I focus a lot of time on gut health and getting to the root cause. And it's one of the most important systems in your body, and what you feed your gut matters. And that's why I want to tell you about Manukora's Manuka honey. They conducted a study where participants took 20 grams of honey daily. That was 10 grams twice daily. And the results were impressive. 79% reported reduced occasional bloating, 71% reported positive changes in gut health, and 60% reported less occasional reflux. Now, that's the kind of data I look for before recommending anything to my community. And honestly, it lines up with what I've experienced myself since I started taking it. And that's the kind of data I look for before recommending anything to my community. And I can also say this lines up with what I've seen in my clinic. When I have patients start using Manuka honey, it changes their gut microbiome, their immunity, and it's the greatest health swap out there for sugar. And it's a great addition to your morning health regimen. You can add it into oatmeal or a smoothie or some herbal tea or just do a spoonful. Your journey to better gut health starts right now. Head to manukora.com/axe and grab the starter kit at 31% off plus $25 in free gifts today. Now, one other important thing I want to note about GLP-1, especially when you're doing it with food-based medicine, is it doesn't only lower your blood sugar, which is a great benefit, but it also fixes how your cells hear insulin. In insulin resistance, which is one of the main drivers of inflammation today in chronic disease, your cells stop hearing insulin signal. Okay, they've gone deaf, they can't hear anymore. This is why your blood sugar keeps getting too high. So the pancreas pumps out more and more and more insulin. GLP-1 breaks the cycle in two ways. Number one, it releases insulin only when your glucose is high, so it can't cause this blood sugar crash. And number two, it restores the cell's actual sensitivity. It helps repair and heal the cell. And here's an incredible study. It was 2 times more effective than metformin at reducing insulin resistance when GLP-1 was activated through a healthy diet plus berberine. So did you hear that? 2 times more effective than metformin. Okay, all these people today are pushing drugs like metformin and GLP-1. And what they found is, if you consume this diet we're talking about, high protein and fiber, right, a good diet, and add in 1 supplement in berberine, it was 2 times, doubly more effective than taking these drugs. Here's what most people still think today. You need a drug to get GLP-1 benefits. That's a myth. Again, there was this amazing study out of Stanford, a 2021 study, and they found that when you increase your fiber intake and you add more fermented foods in your diet with no drugs, that people had amazing results. There's a 2023 review of 28 trials, and they found berberine alone tripled fasting GLP-1. It tripled GLP-1, berberine as a supplement. Incredible. So here's what's in front of you, 2 options. Number 1, food-based GLP-1. No side effects, improves your gut microbiome, it's sustainable long-term, it addresses root causes. You're gonna reverse every other problem you have typically when you follow this. It costs under $20 a month for the food and upgrades, or maybe it costs you, I don't know, $50 or $100, but it's not that much to just eat more fiber and protein, okay? And take 1 supplement. Semaglutide, Ozempic, here is the outcome. Nausea, vomiting, constipation. 20 to 25% of people quit in 1 to 3 months because the side effects are so severe. Muscle loss, up to 40 to 50% of your muscle is lost. $900 to $1,400 a month without insurance. And most people gain even more weight because now they've damaged their metabolism, because now they've lost a lot of their muscle. And let me mention Berberine one more time, okay? It activates GLP-1. Science calls it nature's Ozempic. It's a plant alkaloid from, as I mentioned, bayberry or golden seal or Oregon grape, okay? It comes from those plant leaves. And berberine works on several pathways. It activates something called AMPK, which is actually what metformin does. So it acts as a natural type of metformin, like a diabetes drug, but naturally it boosts GLP-1 from your L cells and it improves the health of your gut microbiome. In fact, berberine was often used for clearing out candida and part of candida protocols. And the fact that it supports your gut microbiome drives even more benefits with boosting GLP-1. And it does it without the side effects. Now, I do want to say this food comes first, okay? So here's what I want you to focus on: protein, fiber, and probiotics, and then those antioxidant-rich foods like olive oil and berries and vegetables, okay? If you can do that, you are going to see incredible results. And remember, if you download the guide that's in the show notes, I have a GLP-1 guide that has a 7-day meal plan. It goes through those top 10 supplements, those top 10 foods, and a whole lot more information. And it just walks you through, here's exactly what to do to burn fat, to lose weight, to support insulin completely naturally. You can download that in the show notes. It's a free PDF. It's worth $50. You can download it for free. And then 4 big things to remember. GLP-1 is already inside of you. You just need to activate it with food. Number 2, food is the on switch, right? Fiber and protein and polyphenols and fermented foods. Number 3, benefits go beyond just weight. It supports your heart and your kidneys and your brain. And remember also, berberine is the fast track. Do a couple supplements there that with the diet will make a world of difference. 3 quick asks for you. Number 1, subscribe. When you're subscribed, it allows me to continue to bring on these incredibly high profile guests. It allows me to continue to put out more of this content. It allows me to give you more of these things away for free. And then also you don't miss a thing. By the way, because so many of you are subscribed, I'm so grateful. This podcast is doing amazingly well. We are sitting in the top 5 in podcasts in all of health in the world. So I want to say thank you so much here for subscribing and supporting me and being part of the mission. Also, share this with somebody. Think about who's one person who could really benefit from this episode and text it to them, share it with them, post on social media. Thank you, all of you, for sharing this. And don't forget, this guide right now is free for a limited time. So go and download the free GLP-1 guide. It has the eating plan, the food, the supplements, even biomarkers. Everything is in there as well. I want to say thanks so much for listening and watching the Dr. Josh Ack Show, where each and every week I'm diving deep into the science and principles of how you can heal physically, mentally, spiritually, and take your health and your life to the next level. I can't wait to see you on the next episode.